Good morning. Due to a very interesting conversation I had yesterday on Facebook where a woman attacked me harshly because I posted something that I decided not to live in fear, and she felt highly triggered. She sent me a personal message about wishing me all the worst in the world. It was in details, and she was belittling me and all the things, and I didn't feel triggered at all. I just saw what she was doing, and I thought it was a good time now to talk about that, about compassion for other people, because many people right now are in such pain. They have anger, there's sadness, there's a rage, there's fear, and there's also a lot of frustration. And also people, when you see them having to wear their mask all day, I can totally relate how frustrating that is, and how much comes up because you're so restricted in all this wearing a mask all the time. And yeah, we have to have compassion for these people because they need it. Despite lashing out at us, they just need our compassion. And in that sense, I would like to give you six ways how to deal and act with these people who try to trigger you, who feel triggered, who lash out at you, or try to get into a fight with you about anything that's currently on. So the first thing you have really to observe is, if you show them respect, always be respectful, whatever they say, whatever they do, because each person has their free will, and free will to express themselves. And the only thing the soul wants to make is it's an experience, a learning experience, and the soul chose to be in fear or to be in sadness or in grief to make this learning experience, to understand how it feels to live a life like this. And then of course there will be some time that the person will overcome this. But to understand what freedom is, what love is, what abundance is, you need to have an absence of that specific aspect, otherwise you can't know. So what these people do is they express their soul's learning to experience, what is anger, how does anger feel, how does sadness feel, and all these things. So just know that the person that is lashing out at you is just carrying out their free will and doing the learning experience the soul wants them to do. So always be respectful, because yeah, that's how it is. And that leads me already to the second point. Don't take it personal. As I said before, the soul wants to make a learning experience, and it is not about you. When somebody feels triggered, it's never about you, it's always about the person, him or herself. And it doesn't mean that they understand that. It doesn't mean that they accept that and they reflect on it or sit with it and think about it. It just means that they're not ready yet. They're not ready to move to the next level, and they just keep on being triggered until they have learned what they needed to learn. So never take it personal. Don't feel bad about it, because it's not about you. The third is compassion. Always be compassionate, because when you look at it from a higher perspective and you see and observe behind the persona, the mask the person is playing, you will feel the pain therein, the anger, the grief, the sadness. You will see it, and you see and understand how they deal with it, that by lashing out, by being offensive, by belittling you, they avoid actually facing themselves, because they're not yet ready to face the emotion. And it's easier and safer to project it onto other people, instead of looking at it yourself and acknowledging that you have something to process. Then number 4 is don't pour oil into the fire. Stay neutral. As you know now, it's not about you. It doesn't help being disrespectful, and we have to hold the compassion, because behind the mask there is this pain. We have to stay neutral, because nothing that you say or do, it's about you, as I said. And if you meet the person with compassion and in a neutral position, you also help them to see that there's nobody there to lash out. And if they have no wall to hit the shit on, at some time it will come back to them, and they will realize, I act weird, and I have to look at that, what's happening there. Then number 5 is, if you can, and you don't have to, but if you're able to mirror the person, explain the person that he or she is projecting, and that you feel it, that you understand their pain, that you're compassionate, but they have to look at what is triggering them, and there's a chance for them to grow. And it doesn't mean that the person will accept it. He or she will probably laugh at you. It doesn't matter. The more others tell us that we're projecting, the easier we come into the understanding that there's some substance at what other people tell us. So, don't give up. Even if they laugh at you, don't give up. Just keep telling people, if you're there, what's going on. And also in this really respectful, loving and compassionate way that we can do that. Then number 6 is be grateful. If you're not able to feel not triggered because the person is, as I said, is yelling at you, belittling you, laughing at you, it can be anything that has something in it that triggers you, because you have also this trauma inside you which the trigger is attaching to. So be grateful for this to come up, because that's a huge chance for you to look at it and then see where the trigger is coming from. If it's something from your childhood where people belittled you, maybe you were bullied, or you were not respected by your parents, so when they laugh at you, you feel again like a small child, like your parents, they didn't take you seriously. Whatever it is, just have a look at it. It's a beautiful way to process things and release. And if you're not feeling triggered, that's also great, and that's even better. But then you can be grateful that you've given somebody a chance to project something onto you, and you can mirror it back to them. And by reflecting and going back and forth, they have also the chance to grow and to process it and to see what is actually happening in them. It doesn't always happen, because it needs a lot of time and work until we are ready to release something and process it, but it will. And the more triggers we get, the more it's obvious that something needs to be changed. And so be grateful to give somebody the opportunity, and you don't even feel triggered. So you're like this heavy boulder in there, and then people can lash out, and you're actually happy about that, because it doesn't even attach at you at all. It just flows through you, and that's fine. So these are the 6 points. I repeat them again. So first of all, show respect. Be respectful, whatever comes up. Number 2 is don't take it personally, because it's not about you. Third is compassion. Always be compassionate, because you see behind this lashing out person is somebody in huge pain. Number 4 is stay neutral. Don't pour oil into the fire. It doesn't help at all. It's very actually it's actually the opposite. Then number 5 is mirror the person if you can. Show them what's going on, that they're triggered, and that's a chance for them to process something and release it. And number 6, be grateful. If there's a trigger, it's a great chance for you to look at it. If there's no trigger, you are a great way for people. You really like a catalyst that they can learn something about themselves. And if we all really observe and follow these 6 points, I think we can create a great shift in the collective, because that create such a compassionate way of getting along together, and the more people do it, the less we have problems, because everybody gets the chance to, you know, to look at their triggers. And if people who lash out or feel pain, they have nothing to attach it to because the person is neutral, they're throwing their dirt on, they eventually have to face themselves and to see that something is wrong with them, and they have to change it, because otherwise they're just damaging themselves. It's like big self-sabotage going on. Yeah, so let's do that today. Have a day full of compassion for everybody who comes our way, and I wish you a beautiful weekend, and talk to you soon. Bye.